You alright guys, this is Mattstrats and I'm bringing you a brand new gaming review. So today we're going to be looking at Injustice, Gods and Monsters. Now if you've not actually seen or played this before, basically it's a beat 'em up. It is a 1v1 beat 'em up, so there's no tag teaming on this one. And what you do is, obviously you've got your superheroes and you're playing against each other. You've got your villains and your heroes and it's all DC. So it's a DC Universe sort of game. You won't be expected to see any Marvel characters here. I'm just saying Marvel would be a brilliant idea to do this, because if they make it just as good as this, if not better, it will be a top 10 game in my opinion. So what we're going to do is obviously look at the game itself, how it handles all the features within it, and whether it is worth spending that hard-earned money that you earn on it, or if it's worth waiting a few weeks, letting it reduce in price and buying it then. So today we're going to be looking, like I say, at different aspects, and the first aspect is going to be looking at the gameplay itself. Now obviously the gameplay is going to be looking at the visual aspects, also the audio, and just generally how it feels. So obviously to look at, it is really smooth. They've done a really good job with the scenery. Every bit of scenery is actually interactive, so you can run along and you can grab something and slam them into them, or you can there's a toolbox here, you can grab them into the toolbox and throw it at them. And there's also bits within the scenery that you can actually smash, so you can actually put them through the walls and put them into a new aspect of the map. So the fact that the environment is interactive is really cool. The fact that you can just pick things up and access them and use them as weapons again, that is really awesome. So I do like that. Again, graphics, they look really smooth. There's nothing really about the game that is really detrimental to it. I mean, it handles really well, but we'll be looking at handling as a separate anyway. Other than that, again, the audio within it, I can't fault it, to be honest. To look at and to actually to play and to hear, it is really good. And it is worth, I'd give it at least a 9 out of 10 on that on its own. There's nothing really that I've come across, like any bugs or little glitches that really set it back at all. So the gameplay aspect is awesome. The next part obviously is going to be looking at the story. So the story within it, not to give too much away because I don't want to ruin it for you, but basically the story is the lines between good and bad have been blurred slightly. So you will get heroes fighting for themselves and villains fighting for themselves, and yeah, it's a bit like if the heroes were more, if they got split down the middle and they had to actually fight off and duke it out sort of thing. So it is quite a good storyline, to be honest. It's not overly long. It's not a huge storyline, but there are obviously different characters that you can play it with. And again, it is a 1v1 system, so you're not going to be getting loads of tag teams or anything like that. So the story, to be fair, the story is pretty cool. I mean, even though it is a short story, you can go back and play it, and obviously there's all the unlocks. Like any beat 'em up game, you go through with different characters, you unlock everything else. So there is the fact that the story is short, but you can always replay it. And again, it is a fun game to just pick up and play. So the next part of it is going to be the handling. Now this is the thing you're going to be wanting most about, in my opinion. I don't mind if the story lacks a little bit, but if your players and your characters in your hands don't feel right, it loses the game for you, because you can't. There's nothing worse than trying to play a beat 'em up and you having a clunky character that you can't use. So the handling with the characters is important. Now they do handle really well. There's nothing really bad about them. They handle smooth. Jumping and moving around like dashing can be a little bit frustrating at times, and you do get obviously hit into the one button wonder. You know, the spamming sort of the spamming technique. You will come against that, and it is a bit of a pain in the ass, and you can't get away from that because some people will just spam buttons. But other than that, if you can get yourself out of a corner, you're fine. It's whether you get trapped or not. That can be quite frustrating. Other than that, there aren't many moves that I would like. There's a lot of moves that I would like to see incorporated in the game. Like, if you've ever played, like, I'm going to compare this against Marvel versus Capcom. Now, Marvel vs. Capcom, there's a huge array of different moves that you can do, different abilities. Now, there is abilities in this one, and again, they've made it more, a bit more adult, a bit more brutal, shall we say, with the different moves that you can do, which is good. I like the idea of that. But again, there's not enough. I don't think there's not enough moves that you can do within the game. A lot of them are really tricky to actually hit as well, because of the joysticks don't work properly. So you be more often trying to use the D-pad to hit the directions, because sometimes the analogs don't work properly. But other than that, it does handle really well. I just wish the moves were a bit more thought out. I mean, the finishes that you do actually do at the end is brilliant. Like this one here, like it's coming up now. If you hit your back buttons, you hit your back triggers, it does the cinematic movement, and it is brilliant. That and those have been thought out really well, to be honest. That is a really good aspect of the game to have that in. So the cinematic like finishes that they do, they are really good. The only problem is I wish they'd have put more in, because I think a variety of finishes would have been cool. But other than that, again, the handling is fairly good. The next thing is the longevity. Now, again, what I mean by this is, can you replay it? Are you going to pick it up and replay it? Now, you are, obviously, because it's a beat 'em up. It's one of those games that you can stick on with your friends and just have it, like, duke it out against each other. You can just keep playing it or replaying it. Other than that, the replay value is obviously you're looking at the downloads. They'll bring out downloadable content because that's what everybody does recently. All the big developers always put downloadable content that they're going to put into the game at a later date. So there's going to be that you can actually download. The problem is it's going to just be skins and stuff that you can download, and maybe new arenas. So nothing that's going to really bring you back unless you really are a DC fan. And that you want to get all these different skins into characters. If you're not, like, I'm more of a Marvel guy myself, so if it had been a Marvel game like this, I would have bought everything for it, because I think that'd be brilliant. But again, with them being DC, I don't know, I don't think DC is as big as Marvel. I know that's just my opinion, obviously, that's just my opinion in this review. DC obviously is still brilliant, but it's just not as good as Marvel. Anyway, we're not talking about that. So obviously there's the skins and whatnot to play it. There's also the different unlockables that you can get in there, and there's like I said, there's a multiplayer that you can come back to and that you can play. The multiplayer, obviously, I'm going to go on to now. I've not actually played the multiplayer a lot, so I'm not 100% sure about the different modes that are in the multiplayer, but you will... I know there's definitely an online where you can obviously fight 1v1, and it says 2 to 8 players online, so there's possibly like a tournament thing that you can do online. I'm not 100% sure, so don't hold me to that. There's customizable parts for your player card. I've seen those as well. So there's different titles you can unlock, there's different emblems, different aspects to the game that you can like boost up your player card and customize your little player card online. And I know there's quite a few achievements that are online, so the multiplayer is obviously a big aspect in it, and obviously they'll bring out more downloadable things for the multiplayer. So yeah, it is an added bonus to having to be able to play online. It's not one of those games that you can really exhaust online, though, I don't believe, because not like a COD or not like your Halos and stuff like that, where you can just go and play. You would probably get bored if you just kept spamming this online. But again, it is a fun little feature to add into there. So basically now I've given you a rough idea of how the game looks and how the game plays, and you've seen from the video footage that I've put out there how it looks. I'm going to give it my overall rating. Now I'm going to be fairly good with this one, and I honestly thought it was about an 8.5 out of 10, possibly even a 9, because it is a really fun game to play. If you've got people around, obviously, and even if you haven't, you can play the storyline and unlock loads of stuff. So, and it is fun to play. It is a nice game to play. So I was there, 8.5, maybe 9 out of 10. I would recommend getting it, to be honest. I wouldn't pay top whack for it. I would wait till it comes down a little bit in price. But if you can pick it up for 28 quid, 30 quid-ish, it's a good game for that, to be honest. And it's one of those that's not going to get tired. You're not going to get tired of it. You can always put it on if you've got your mates around and whatnot. I hope you've enjoyed this review. I've been Mattstrats. If you've got any more games that are coming out recently that you wanted to review, put them in the comments. And if there's a big enough demand for it, I will do it. Like I said, thanks very much, guys, for watching. I've been Mattstrats, and I'll catch you later.